Treaty 9, also known as James Bay Treaty, was created in July 1905 and 1906. It was signed in North Ontario between Government of Canada and Cree and Ojibwe nations of Northern Ontario. Canadian government wished to promote settlement in Northern Ontario, but it was inhibited by the First Nations people. The government entered into negotiations with the First Nation people in effort to negotiate a treaty that would relocate the First Nation people in a decided land claim elsewhere. Treaty documents were prepared well beforehand by lawyers. No translated versions were made, and treaty wasn't read word per word. First Nations were promised reserve annual payment, hunting, trapping, fishing, and education by the Canadian government. The treaty was signed orally, and the chief had trusted and believed that the people of the crown would strengthen the people's weakness, which is why he signed it. Education was one promise made by the Canadian government that could provide sovereignty for the future generation, in a way that the First Nations could stand up for themselves and take control of their own land. First Nations feared that signing the treaty would destroy their way of life, but they believed that nothing but good was intended. The promises that they were given were no longer intact. No high schools were built. Children who attended high school traveled far distance from their reserves. The dams that were involved in the treaty flooded Mish people's lands and homes. The impact of these treaties can still be felt in modern times. The numbered treaties were rushed and disorganized, limiting the Aboriginal way of life, and unlimitedly had poor results due to the unfulfilled promises, and also violated the treaty terms in restricting and forcing education through the creation of residential schools. Also, the First Nation felt the agreements from the Number Treaty were dishonored when their traditional forms of government were removed. Signing of the treaty provides a better understanding of how Canada was actually built and all the things that the First Nation had to give up during the process. This is their land, and we often forget that, which is why it's important that we realize the fact that signing these treaties took a lot from them, which is why we are here today. They should be given credit for that.